49er coach Kyle Shanahan reaffirming his commitment to the organization. He said, quote, "I don't want to be any place in the world more than here," he said. Now, he had more to say, but that was the money quote. That was the money quote from Shanahan. Now, previously, as we said, it had been speculated that the Chicago Bears and some other teams who need a coach would make a phone call and say, "Hey, what would it take to get Kyle Shanahan?" Something like that. So let us discuss the question. Kyle Shanahan, he says he wants to stay with the 49ers. Do you believe him? So I've got Salt, hide and seek, and Rome, but not Jim Rome. And we will combine all of these things together, and we will make an empty net goal is what we're going to make. So first of all, to answer the question, again, my position is in lockstep. I told Koopa Loop about this earlier. My position, and I'm shaking my head no, you never believe coaches. They will lie to your face, much like radio bosses. They will lie to your face. They like politicians. What did you expect Kyle Shanahan, what did you expect him to say following the Niners game? Like, what did you expect? This is not the time nor the place. Not the time nor the place to announce any kind of declaration. It would have been a wonderful story for talk radio if Kyle Shanahan, after blowing out the Chicago Bears, had said, I grew up loving deep dish pizza, and I would love to go to work every Sunday at Soldier Field half the time. Man, that would be awesome. Boy, would that be fun. My favorite running back was Walter Payton. That guy. I mean, no, you don't say that. Of course not. And coaches, and I've worked with some of these cats over the years, these guys are, to be kind, economical with the truth. And I learned long ago to take what coaches say with a little grain of salt, a little pinch of salt. That's it. And this was a version of the truth, but just not the whole truth, and certainly nothing but the truth. Kyle Shanahan said he doesn't want to be any place in the world more than the 49ers. And that doesn't mean that there's some other places he wouldn't want to be with just as much as the 49ers. And his dad coached multiple NFL teams. Normally, you don't stay in one place unless you coach the Pittsburgh Steelers. You bounce around the NFL. You're going to coach multiple teams. So we aren't going to ignore the story. What we're going to do is put it on layaway. We're going to put the Kyle Shanahan story on layaway because we believe the Kyle Shanahan story will bounce back onto our radar. And there'll be a Sean McVay story that this is a good clickbait story once we get past the postseason, or into the postseason, I should say, into the coaching carousel, that this storyline will return. So we're going to put it on layaway, and we'll go back to it. We'll pay off the bill there later on. So we'll wait for the coaching carousel to spin round and round and round and round and round and round and see how this all goes. All right, now, secondly, we head to Minnesota. That is where former Jets coach Rex Ryan turned TV pundit and several other prominent NFL talking heads are stunned that the quarterback of the Vikings is playing at an elite level, statistically a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, but yet the Minnesota football team is reluctant to extend Sam Darnold. And Rex Ryan upset with that. What is your take on the situation with the Vikings and the number of people that have come out in support of Sam Darnold? All right, so I will answer this. I'm on the side of the Vikings. The Vikings don't believe in Sam Darnold, and I'm with the Vikings. They know deep down this is smoke and mirrors. This is not sustainable. Otherwise, they would extend Sam Darnold. They would make every effort right now. If they knew they had the magic pixie dust and that this was going to continue, then who cares about J.J. McCarthy? Who cares about any of these other cats? Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones. You would do everything. You would move mountains. Come hell or high water, Sam Darnold's going to be the Viking quarterback for years to come. The fact that the Vikings aren't doing that tells you internally they know Sam Darnold's not the guy. They know he's not the guy, that he doesn't have that je ne sais quoi. right? He doesn't have that it factor. He is lacking that. And on my report card, the Maller report card, which is the most important report card out there, my brothers and sisters in Minnesota will agree with me on this. The report card on Sam Darnold has an I next to his name. Not an A, not a B, not a C, not a D, not an F, an I. Right? An I. Incomplete. Sam Darnold has cobbled together some nice numbers. He has, right? But it is premature to announce that this is real. It just is. And Darnold, to be kind, is a work in progress. And I go back and I will die on this mountain. If the Minnesota Vikings believe what they're seeing is legit, then they would absolutely be deep in the weeds in negotiations. And Sam Darnold would want to stay there because why would you want to leave? You're playing great. Your coach loves you. Everything's great. And that's not happening. That's not happening. And so that is a dead giveaway. That is a dead giveaway that internally there are people that are doubting Sam Darnold, and rightfully so. And the NFL, though, generally speaking, one season you get paid. They call them one-hit wonders. The NFL's got so much money, they're like a Mexican cartel drug king, and they're burying money in the ground. They don't know what to do with all the money. And so everyone's getting paid. You get paid, you get paid, you in the back, you get paid. Even you suck, but you get paid. Everyone gets paid. All right, final thought. We now go to Cleveland. Well, actually Pittsburgh, but the Cleveland Browns on the road, and the wife of a Browns offensive lineman. There's nothing I like more talking about than the wives of Browns offensive linemen. Wyatt Teller. No relation to Penn and Teller, but Wyatt Teller, the wife of that lineman for the Browns, who you've never heard of, and why would you? Why would you? So the wife of this Browns player, very upset with the Pittsburgh fan, the Yinzer fan. She was complaining about her treatment at the game on Sunday in Pennsylvania as she attempted to watch her husband play at the stadium formerly known as Heinz Field. Carly Teller, related through marriage, wrote on social media, the Steeler fans behaved poorly. They behaved poorly. She said, the fans in Pittsburgh today were so blatantly disrespectful to me and the Browns girls. I've never felt so attacked by people who I literally did nothing to. Very sad. Embarrassing behavior. She added a selfie. Oh, that's good. And another explanation on the gram. She said, when you're just trying to have a drink and watch your husband at work, but you're surrounded by Steeler fans who are screaming at them, and you, the entire team, I think she meant entire game, but I don't know. That's what she wrote, word for word. Not the King's English. All right, so the wife of a Browns lineman you've never heard of complaining about Steeler fans for being blatantly disrespectful. What is your ruling on this one? All right, so is it inbounds or out of bounds? So I'm going to say the wife is out of bounds on this. Says, well, the fans should act great. This is across the board. And if you don't realize working, and I know she doesn't work in the NFL, she's just benefiting from the NFL money, being married to an NFL player. But if you're in that world, if that's the world you're in, and your husband's been in the NFL for a number of years, and you don't know that it doesn't matter whether you're in Pittsburgh, you're in LA, San Francisco, Houston, Minnesota, Atlanta, anywhere. This is how fans act across the NFL. And the NFL doesn't care, because if they cared, they would have stopped this long ago. And so if you don't realize that, then you've got the problem, right? The wife is out of bounds. Like, what are you, living under a rock somewhere? Have you never been to an NFL game? NFL stadiums have been filled for years with a high percentage of fans who are completely schnockered, hours and hours of drinking, having a great time. They act like a mix of a sloth and a Neanderthal when they're at these games, and a very primitive mindset. Now, I'm not going to say they use their lizard brain, but that's what Lorena said. They use their lizard brain. And when in Rome, but not Jim Rome, do as the Romans, when in Rome, right? You learned that? Yeah. When you're at an NFL stadium, you familiarize yourself with your surroundings and the do's and the don'ts. And there is a solution here to this problem. In fact, there's two solutions, two answers to this woman's problem, the wife of this Browns lineman. Either A, you stay home. The games are better watching on TV anyway. It's a better product on television. And B, just spend the money and go get a luxury box, and then the Neanderthals can't get near you. You ever see Taylor Swift sitting in the crowd at an NFL game? No, because she knows what kind of people go to NFL games. And she doesn't want to deal with the unwashed. So instead, she ends up sitting in a little box there and avoids everything and is surrounded by an army of thugs, bouncy security guys and all that.